And so it's not a word that you said, um, but what I see in how you've created like who you are in the world, there's relationship and trust are actually hugely important. And when I hear you say that you invited this artist to stay with you for a whole week, you and Luna, there's definitely trust present. And could you answer what does trust mean to you?
I don't know, like, what's he gonna do? Like, we're not living in CSI here. I don't watch any violence at all, so I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have that Western thing where it's like, oh my God, in order to keep all the greed going inside our country, we have to manipulate the population to think it's really scary outside their door, so they'll just stay in and keep buying shit on Amazon. I don't have any of that. I don't watch TV. I don't consume violence. I don't like play into that crap at all. What's he gonna do? There's not even a sharp object in this house. Plus, I mean, I'd say Chip and I probably weigh the same. He might outweigh me by 10 pounds, maybe. You know, like we rent out the other room as an Airbnb. I barely look at the people's stuff. I mean, sometimes, to be honest, I started looking more because tourists from my culture are shitty. Like, they just are. There's a really wide range of people, but because we rent a room at a cheaper price, the type of person that's coming from Canada or the States that's looking for a cheaper room is a cheaper person, okay? Unless they have kids or like there's some reason that they're on a budget. For the most part, if they're just like normal people that want to travel on a budget, what they're trying to do is be cheap, which is totally different than like being on a budget or being inexpensive or living within your means. It's a different mentality. They're just trying to be cheap. And people that are trying to be cheap, they don't create community. They don't like my kid. They don't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I do look at them now. Those are the only people that I'm like, I don't know, they're from Canada, they might suck. And like, that's pretty normal all over the world. Like, Guatemalans always distrust Guatemalans and like trust foreigners more. And I just don't trust my people. I know them too well. So I know what all the ugly rednecks look like, and I don't want them in the house. But for the most part, like when Mexicans come and stay here, I'm like, oh, they're Mexican from the city, they're good people. Like, I don't know if that's bad, but I'm like, usually, we just had a guy stay here on his own. He was so quiet. I don't know what he did. I don't even think he went on at night. He was like a 20-something dude from the city. He came here and stayed in the suburbs with me and my kid. And he was just like quiet. I think he came here to sleep. I don't know, but I was just like, he was the only person that I was like, I don't know, is he creepy, or like, is he just looking for a place to chill, or what is he doing here? But almost everybody that comes through here is, I feel like we operate on the whole like attraction over advertisement kind of thing. And we don't win people over to come here. We create a space that's attracted to a certain type of person. So I think Chepe came here because when we chatted on Instagram, he was like, oh, she's my people and I like money and she's got both. So I'm going to come down there. And then we became really good friends, and he came back to paint more because I was like looking for an excuse for him to come here. And also I didn't want him to just come and change the colors. I was like, come and do a new piece as well and hang out. And Luna loves him. She calls everyone Chepe, which is really funny because he's like, she barely knows him. He also doesn't have kids and he's like in his 20s. But she loves Chepe. And I'm actually going to the city next weekend, and we're going to hang out with him and his girlfriend, who's also an artist, and I think we're going to go to an art show or something. But yeah, I don't think too much about trust stuff, to be honest. I feel like my gut will tell me if someone's a creeper. I'm pretty like tuned in because I'm so dialed out of all the junk. I'm like really dialed in to my own feelings more now. I really feel that, like, first of all, I can't watch violence. I mean, even on the news, or even if someone tells me a story of something horrific, I'm just like up, like locking the doors and then being like, oh shit, like we're locked in. Like, what if someone comes over the wall? Like, my imagination just can't handle. Like, now that I don't watch it, I can't, you know, the woman that helps me with Luna and cleans my house, and she's also a friend of mine. She has a son, and it was his birthday. She was saying, I was like, what are you getting? And she's like, oh, he's really into Marvel. And she was telling me about all these, superheroes. I have no idea who they are. And I'm like, oh, I don't watch any of that because I can't. And she was like, you can't watch Marvel? I was like, there's too much violence for me. Like, I'm off. I've been off that stuff for a while. I can't consume it anymore. And she's like laughing because it's like her 6-year-old kid is into this stuff. Like, this is not, this is not a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, it is pretty light, cartoony stuff. But I'm like, oh no, I don't mess with violence. No.
Yeah.
Like, the less I have that crap in my life, and also the less stuff, the less, like unnecessary knickknacks and stuff, I just find I'm like more tuned in. So I don't even think about that.